Good evening, everyone. Hello. How are you today?
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening. Hello, hello. How are you? Fine? Doing good?
Yes, Miss.
Excellent. Right, guys. I'm happy to hear that. Let's start with our second part of the first class. We will continue working on Unit 8, okay? Yes, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, Diego. Okay. So let's start. August 15, we're going to start with the second part of our class, okay? Just a small reminder before we start. Let's see here, okay? Remember about the activities that we do in class. Entonces, esta parte está en español. Recuerden que las actividades que hagamos en clase son tomadas como evaluaciones, como quizzes escritos y orales. Entonces, cuando no asistimos a la clase es nuestra responsabilidad adelantarnos con la grabación o preguntando a las docentes las actividades pendientes. Entonces, recuerden que cada actividad no realizada se califica con 0, ¿ok? Short parenthesis in Spanish. But now let's start by checking the agenda, what we have planned for today. So we're going to practice the vocabulary that we just learned with in the previous part of the class from Unit 8. We're going to study the patterns about habits, to talk about habits in the present, also to talk about habits in the past. We're going to watch a video. Then we're going to practice. This activity will be done in groups. And then we will continue with a listening activity on page 78 that is called Leaving Home. Okay, so that is what we have planned today. So we're going to practice the vocabulary that you just learned with teacher Sandy. So I'm going to start with this activity, and after the activity, we will check attendance, okay? So let's start one by one. I'm going to show you the card. Just a moment, please. I'm going to show you the card, and then you have to either define the word or use it as an example, explain it to me, but you cannot use Spanish to define it, okay? You have to either use it in a sentence or explain the meaning of the word. You cannot use Spanish to define the word, okay? So let's start, just a moment. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so let's start with Diego. Diego, a chatterbox. What is that? A chatterbox.
Person who talks a lot and it's really, how can I say irritante?
Annoying.
Annoying. Yes, teacher.
It's annoying, okay? Yes, this is a chatterbox. A person that is too talkative, that talks a lot. Okay, next, thank you, Diego. Good. Next is for Jorge. Highly strong. What's the meaning of this?
Tell me, teacher.
Okay, the word is highly strong. You have to explain it to me in English or use it in a sentence. You cannot use Spanish to define it. Okay, either explain it or use it in a sentence.
Okay, teacher. I don't remember the meaning, teacher.
Okay. So I'm writing here the results. Let's see. Highly strong. Continue with Karen. The same word, highly strong.
It's a person that have a really nervous or sensitive temperament.
Yes, a sensitive temper. Is a person that becomes nervous easily or upset very easily. All right, good. Karen, thank you. Okay, next word is for Catherine. Crack jokes.
Yes, Miss. Is a person who usually do funny, irritable jokes for another person or to another person. Yeah.
Yes. So it's very easy to tell a joke is to crack a joke, okay? To say it, okay? Very good. Okay. Next is for Kiara. On a short fuse. What's the meaning of this? On a short fuse. Explain it or use it in a sentence. Kiara? No? Not here, Kiara? Okay.
Teacher is a person who um, uh, very angry.
Very angry. How? Easily or difficult?
Is easily angry.
Yes. It's a person that has the tendency to lose the temper quickly, okay? To lose your temper quickly. All right, continue, Manuel. This is the next for you. Laid back.
Laid back, it's like relaxed.
Is a person that is relaxed, easygoing. Good, thank you. Next is for Maria Alejandra. A neat freak. What's a neat freak?
Is if someone to need the place always stay tidy and clean.
Yes, is a person that is too clean. Excessively clean and tidy. It's correct. All right. Next, thank you, Maria, is for Marlon. Fuzzy. What's fuzzy? Or you can use it in a sentence, fuzzy.
Teacher, I don't remember.
Okay, I will go with another student and then I come back to you. Mandy, do you remember fuzzy?
Fuzzy?
What's fuzzy?
Teacher,
No?
no, I don't remember.
Okay, let's see who remembers for an extra point. Who remembers? Or who can use it in a sentence?
Is someone
Okay,
who...
it's... Oh, wait, raise the hand. It was Diego first.
Teacher is a person who likes the details and is very strict with their things.
Mhm.
Can I say in Spanish?
Okay,
Not okay,
go ahead.
not really. It's like quisquilloso.
Yes, that's in Spanish, but the idea is to say it in English. So it's a person that is too not easily satisfied. Yes, so problematic can be a synonym for fuzzy, okay, that cares too much about the details, okay. Right, next, let's continue. We are in Natalia. Next one, overbearing. Natalia, overbearing.
No, teacher, I don't remember the meaning.
Okay, so let's see if you know. Raise your hand. You can explain it. Okay, Catherine. Catherine.
I speak with my microphone off. Is maybe a person who always wants to have the reason and or one listening of point of view that another person.
So we don't say to have the reason. A person who always wants to be right, to be correct.
Right.
Okay, to be right. So overbearing is it can be synonym to arrogant or bossy. Yeah. So who doesn't listen to others. Okay, it's overpowering, something bad. All right, continue. We are with Manuela. Next is an action to unwind. Manuela, what's this?
No, teacher, I don't remember.
Okay, let's see who remembers. Raise your hand. To unwind. No? Okay, Catherine, go ahead.
Is a person who is difficult to keep calm.
No,
It's
that's
a
not.
person who don't worry about anything.
No. Diego?
Is a synonym of easygoing.
No, this is not an adjective. It's an action. It's a verb. To unwind.
A person
It's a verb, so it's not a person. It's a verb.
I
It's
think it's
like
calm
to
down.
relaxing.
To calm down.
Yes, I think it was Diego and Manuel at the
Relax?
same time. Yes, it's a synonym to relax, okay? To unwind, it means to relax. So, Diego and Manuel, okay. Good. Now it's the turn for Santiago, okay? Next, Santiago. To lounge around is also a verb. You can use it in a sentence or explain what the word means. Lounge around.
Teacher, honestly, I don't know.
No idea, okay? Who remembers?
I'm just
Raise
around.
your hand.
To
No.
be lazy.
To be lazy. Natalia, I think you said yes. Is synonym to lazy, to spend the time in a relaxed way, sitting or laying down on your bed. This is to lounge around. All right, Vanessa, next. To sulk. What is this action? To sulk.
Teacher, is it like angry or
Yes, it's a synonym of angry. In Spanish, we say like enfurruñarse, okay? To not be upset, to be upset and don't want to talk to anyone. So it's a synonym to be angry. This is to sulk. Very good. Okay, and Jessica, the last word, opinionated. What's the meaning of opinionated or to be opinionated?
If I'm not sure, but a person, I'm not sure in English.
Okay. No, okay. So who knows or who can explain?
So don't
Okay, Jessica?
dominating?
Dominant?
Yes.
A dominant person? Yes, it can be a synonym to opinionated. Dominant, yes, is a person that is stubborn, like terco, or who expresses their opinion very loudly, strongly, okay, above others. This is the meaning of opinionated, okay? Excellent, guys, very good. So this was just a short review for the previous vocabulary. Now let's check the list, the attendance for today. I'm going to turn off my camera for a while. Karen Acevedo, right? Santiago Fonseca.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thanks. Kiara Martinez.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Jorge Moreno.
Hello, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Natalia Navarro.
Hello, teacher.
All right. Diego Olarte.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Manuel Ortiz.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, great. Jessica Rios.
Present, teacher.
Okay, thanks. Catherine Rodriguez.
Present, Miss.
Marlon Sánchez.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Mendy Santa.
Present, teacher.
All right. Manuel Sepúlveda.
Present, teacher.
Thanks. María Alejandra Vega.
Present, teacher.
Okay. And Vanessa Zambrano.
Present, teacher.
Thank you. All right. Excellent, guys. So we can start with our topics, our activities for today. So let's take a look. I think you finished here with teacher Sandy. So in this part, we are going to cover, we're going to study some patterns that are very useful for us to describe habits. We were talking about here our behavior, characteristics, and here it's important that we identify these patterns that we use to describe typical habits, okay? So I'm going to show you in the presentation and then we can do some practice. So what is a habit? Habits are hard to give up because they refer to special tendencies or actions that have been done for a long time. So we consider them habitual, okay? So this is what we consider a habit, some action that is repeated over a period of time, right? It has for a long time. This is considered a habit. So we're going to start talking about how we can describe habits first in the present, so habits that you have now, and also habits that you had in the past. So let's start with the habits for the present, okay? For the habits in present, we can use the verb will or the modal verb will, okay? So in this case, it's not talking about the future, is using will to describe habits in the present. For example, this is used to express some habits that we consider annoying, but not always, okay? Sometimes it can be used for that, but it's not always used to express annoying habits, okay? We can say he will get up late as usual. So this is indicating the habit. Se levantará tarde como siempre. This is not the future. It's talking about a habit that it's still in the present, okay? Oh, Sam will answer the phones in our office. This is not talking about future. It's talking about her job. So it becomes a habit, a routine, no? She will answer the phones in our office. So we can use will. We can also use the present continuous. We already talked about this before. I am always losing my keys, for example. Okay, so this is a habit. A habit I can use always plus the present continuous. This indicates that an action is really annoying and that is done habitually. Okay, so it's a habit. Let's read both examples here. Marlon, can you read both examples? She and Jack and Sarah. Marlon? No, it's not here, Marlon. Okay, let's see then. Santiago, can you read both examples? She is always and Jack and Sarah.
Of course, teacher.
Mhm.
She's always trying to go through my personal stuff. Jack and Sarah are always telling lies to us.
Good. So this, the use of always in the present continuous, indicates that we think this habit is annoying, okay? And is very recurrent. So she's always trying to go through my personal stuff. Jack and Sarah are always telling lies to us, okay? So we use the verb present continuous with always, okay? So those are the first two, will and present continuous. Let's see others that we can also use in the present, the verb keep and the verb tend, okay? The first is keep. The main verb keep can be followed by gerunds. Remember what is a gerund? Is ing. The verb plus ing is called a gerund. This is not the continuous form, no es la forma continua, es el gerundio, ¿ok? Como cuando empezamos una oración. Exercising is good for you. Hacer ejercicio es bueno para ti. Ahí no es continuo, ese es un gerundio, ¿no? Una forma del verbo. So we can use, after the verb keep, we can use the verbs in gerunds. She keeps talking. Ella sigue hablando, hablándole a mi novio. She keeps talking to my boyfriend, okay? Or my friends keep ditching me. Mis amigos siguen dejándome, no me invitan, ditching me, right? To keep doing something. Seguir haciendo algo, okay? This is with the verb keep. And then we have with the verb tend. What is the use of tend? This is used to indicate that a person has the desire to do something and as a result, they do it habitually, no? Tiende a, tends to. So when we use the verb tend, we have to use the verb in infinitive form with to. Tiende a y el verbo, okay? Tends to or tended to. Let's read both examples, please. Natalia, please read both examples. She tends and John tended.
Okay, that she tends to stay in her house on the weekends, and John tended to pay for her dinner every time they went out.
All right, so tend, tiende a, and keep. Also to talk about habits in the present, okay? Are we clear? Good so far? No questions?
Good, teacher. Yes.
Okay, good. So now we're going to see how to talk about habits in the past, okay? So I have a video here and we're going to watch it and then we are going to explain. Let me open the link for the video. Okay, can you see it and can you listen to it?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, let's watch it together.
Stop saying from bbclearningenglish.com.
Hi, I'm Elisa and I come from Milan. I love used to in English. It's so useful for talking about things I did but don't do anymore. Like I used to play tennis. But are there other ways of saying used to? I want to stop saying used to so much.
Used to. Now that is a really good question. Would you like me to give you an alternative to used to? Would you? Would you? Get it? Would you? Oh, right. Well, perhaps I'll just explain then. Come on, follow me. Oh, but first, I'd like you to meet younger Tim.
I play football every day. I get up at 7 a.m, I run to the park with my ball, and I practice free kicks until night time.
That was me about 10 years ago-ish. I would play football every day. I'd get up at 7 a.m, I'd run to the park with my ball, and I'd practice free kicks until night time. Not anymore. But did you notice what I did there? I would play football every day. I'd get up at 7 a.m. I'd run to the park with my ball and I'd practice free kicks until night time. We can use would to talk about past actions that we did on a number of occasions. Right, now, is it time for my cigarette break now?
I don't think that's a good idea. Do you, Tim?
I love football and sport and being fit and healthy. I hate smoking and I hate drinking alcohol.
That's true. I used to be very fit and healthy. What went wrong? Yes. Now, we need to be careful here. Although we can use would instead of used to talk about past repeated actions, we can't use it to talk about past states. We can't say, I would be very fit and healthy. We need used to. I used to be very fit and healthy. Now, what's got 2 thumbs and is about to drink a beer? This bad boy.
All right, so in the video we can see how he is using would instead of was used to talk about past habits. So we're going to study that a little bit more and then we can do some practice, okay? So let's take a look at the presentation here. In what cases can we use would, okay? We can use the verb would to refer to past habits, okay? Or to past actions that we use to do repeatedly, okay? This sometimes when we use would, in emphasizing it, we can imply some annoyance, okay? But not all the time. Only when we emphasize it, when we are talking, it can express some annoyance, okay? Let's read the examples. So, Diego, can you read both examples? He would talk.
He would talk about his ex-girlfriend all the time. He would play basketball on Sundays when he was at primary school.
Primary school, okay? So for past actions, we can use would or we can use used to, okay? He used to talk about his ex-girlfriend or he used to play basketball. It's also possible, okay? All right, now let's see used to. We use it to refer to past habits. This is the most common, but it's important to clarify that when we use used to, it is always to talk about habits in the past that we don't have anymore. So these habits do not exist in the future. They happened in the past and are not happening now, are not happening in the present, okay? Catherine, can you read both examples for used to?
Sure. Tony used to go to the gym, and Chiara, I used to play together when we were 7.
Yes, so Tony used to go to the gym. Chiara, this is an Italian name, Chiara, and I used to play together when we were 7, okay? So, habits that occurred in the past and they do not happen anymore. So, let's differentiate when we use would and when we use used to. So, for verbs, action verbs, we can use both would or used to, okay? To refer to past habits. But when we talk about state verbs, what are the state verbs? Remember the state verbs? Can you give me some examples of state verbs?
Like,
hate,
love.
love.
Like, love, hate, think, smell, all the senses, these are the state verbs. So with these type of verbs, we only use used to. We cannot use would, okay? So we can say, I used to dislike chicken and rice, but now I love it. We cannot say, I would dislike chicken and rice, no? With state verbs, would is incorrect, okay? We can say with action verbs, she would run because she was scared of cats, okay? Is this clear? So when to use both, used to or would, and when to use only used to, okay?
No, teacher, excuse me. Could you explain when only use used to?
Okay, so with state verbs like, think, hate, dislike, consider, these are state verbs.
Basically, we cannot use would or say like with love, we would love, or we would like.
No, yes. I would love chicken and rice. This is only for past habits, ¿no? Entonces, esta regla es de los hábitos pasados, ¿no? El would love o would like lo usamos en otro contexto, ¿no? El me gustaría tal cosa. I would like this. En esos casos sí es normal, es correcto. Cuando hablamos de hábitos pasados, en esos casos es que no podemos usar would más un verbo de estar, ¿ok?
Okay, it's clear thing,
For
teacher.
for past habits. In other cases, it is possible, okay? All right, and this is the last part for past habits. We can use past continuous with always, okay? To refer to an action that was repeated in the past and that we find annoying. Entonces, como vimos el presente continuo, también podemos usar el pasado continuo para hablar de hábitos, okay? Past habits. Let's read it. Please, Manuela, please read both examples.
Hannah was always blaming me for everything, and they were always loudly in the dormitory when we were trying to sleep.
Yes, Hannah was always blaming me for everything. They were always laughing loudly in the dormitory. So this is for habits that we find annoying, okay? Well, that is it. Do we have any questions about the patterns that we follow for habits, to talk about habits? No? Okay, so let's read the examples that we have in the grammar box on page 77. Okay, let's read them. Vanessa, can you start reading the examples here in the first part, number 1? Only the example. She will go off.
Okay, teacher. She'll go off in a corner and sulk. She won't pick up the phone. She's always laughing.
Laughing?
He is laughing. He's always mourning. Bad habit. One day he'd be really friendly, and the next he'd be really down. He was always picking things up and singing.
Very good. And sighing. Okay. So here we have will. She'll go off in a corner in sulk. Also in negative form, she won't pick up the phone. So she had the habit of not picking up the phone. She is always laughing. This is also a habit. He is always moaning. Also a habit. He would be...
What is the meaning of moaning?
Moaning is quejarse, okay? Moaning. He's always moaning. One day he would be really friendly. Aquí está el de hábito. He would be really friendly. And the next day he would be really down, okay? He was always speaking things up and sighing, okay? Was always speaking things up. Okay, then we have past habits, but not present habits. Entonces, lo que aclaramos ya antes, solo los hábitos que son del pasado, que ya no están en el presente, esos son los que usamos con used to, ¿ok? Si hablamos de un hábito que era el pasado, pero que aún tenemos, no usamos used to, ¿ok? Ese used to es el solía. Eso implica que ya no lo hago, ¿no? I used to hate avocados, for example. I used to hate avocados. Now I like them. Entonces, el used to implica que ese hábito ya no lo tengo, ¿ok? Used to. And then we have the final, to keep o keep on. Entonces, a veces vemos el keep forgetting or keep on forgetting. It means the same, okay? The meaning doesn't change. It's the same. Keep on doing something or keep doing something, okay? Or tend to. So we already saw the examples with keep and with tend. Let's read these examples here just to finish the practice. Karen, the examples for keep and for tend. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I keep forgetting your name. He just keeps on asking her to marry him until in the end she said yes.
So keep forgetting. So remember, keep plus the verb with ing, or kept on asking, and the others can tends to, or tended to be.
He tends to speak very loudly. My parents tended to be very strict.
So she tends to speak. When we use tend, we always use the infinitive to. Tends to speak or tended to be very strict. Okay? All right, guys. So I think we're ready. If we have no questions, we're ready for the practice in this part. So I'm going to create some groups. Let me show you the folder first. We already start level B2.4. Here you can see the folder for the activity today. So you will work in groups, but the document will be uploaded individually, okay? So each student has to go to the folder and download this document. Please do not edit this document. Download it to your computers, okay? Download it, and then in your computers, you can edit it. Do not edit this one, okay? So let me show you. I downloaded it to my computer, and then you click here. So we are going to work in groups, maybe groups of 4 students. I think we can work in 3 or 4 students. So you are going to get in groups, get in groups, and you're going to ask questions to your classmates. So for example, did your parents tend to be very strict when you were young? If the person says yes, you put their name here. So for example, I don't know, Vanessa, okay? For Vanessa, this is true. Her parents tended to be very strict when she was younger. So you are going to ask her a bit more detail about that. Can you give me an example of when they were very strict? So she can say, her parents didn't let her sleep in other houses, okay, from her friends, for example. So this explains that they tended to be very strict when she was a child, when she was younger, okay? So first you find a classmate that the situation applies to, okay? And then you write extra information for that student, okay? You are going to do it individual. The document is individual. You are going to work in groups, but each student has to upload their document. You don't need to complete all of them, okay? If you have 3 classmates in your group, so you choose only 3, okay? I gave you 6 options, but you only do 1 per student, okay? So you don't need to complete all 6. We can do 3 or 4, okay? Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
The activity? All right. So please go to the folder and download the document so you can edit it. We're going to have maybe 15 minutes, maximum 20, to complete the activity, because later we'll continue with the listening part, okay? So this is a short activity, 15 to 20 minutes for this, okay? I'm going to create the groups. Is there any student connected from 2 devices?
No, teacher.
No? Okay.
No, teacher.
Okay, let's go to the groups.
teacher.
Hello.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
So are we ready to start?
Yes, who want to start to read?
No, we have to ask. So, whose parents tended to be very strict when he or she was younger?
My parents. They were very strict with me,
Okay.
especially for my grades, for my notes.
Yeah, grades is correct.
Okay.
So they were strict about your grades at school,
Yes.
right? Okay. Who
Now
was always
someone else asks. Thank you, Manuel. Manuela can ask, Marlon, Jessica, Diego.
For me, no.
No, now you are asking. I think because you already know that Diego had strict parents, you can complete your chart. Now another person asks, okay? For example, Diego asks, who was always having accidents when he or she was little, okay? For the next part. So that is easier for you if you all complete the sentences together, right? So you
Okay,
can
teacher.
ask, okay?
Who always having accidents?
Hello, teacher.
Hello.
Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Submit.
Okay.
Something is wrong. Oh.
And the teacher stopped there.
What?
Sorry, I didn't. No. Or if I did, it was by mistake. Sorry. You can do again.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
Submit, please. Okay.
tails. So whose parents tend to be very strict when he or she was younger? Volunteer?
My parents. Me, Karen.
Oh, parents? Karen parents?
Parents. Okay.
They.
Why?
Oh,
Give us-
no. You are writing in the, or you don't learn the document.
You?
You, something.
Me? No, I download the document. No
You
worry.
are writing in the text? In the document?
I download the document.
Oh, okay.
No worry, I did it. So tails.
My parents didn't allow me go out with my friends.
Okay. Didn't allow it her. Allow her what? Hang out with your friends? Hang out with her friends. Okay.
Something else?
Anything else? Tom,
And
who?
that
¿Qué? Sorry.
Anything else?
something else?
No,
No? Okay. Now,
generally.
was always having accident when was a little. They was a little.
Mm, me.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, guys. Why are you silent? Why aren't you speaking?
Um, in the figure
Vanessa
only
was
me or
we are working in the fields.
only me or another?
Me also. In my
Oh,
case, my parents were very strict. They didn't like that I was in the street in at night playing or doing something with friends.
okay. The second, I use to have accident when I was little on my bike. I would fall, escape, no sé si se raspar. But I never fracture. Only scrape. How do you say raspar? Como de una caída, raspar.
Let me search for
Yes, to scrape your knees.
¿Sí? Ah, okay. Yes, only
stay.
on my bike. I
My area, I have been talking and I left being so shy. I,
What is the reason, or what was the reason?
I think that I feel more comfortable with my work and I don't shy when I talking of issues or themes that I know. So and also is the on the long time when you growth as person. Uh, I think that you don't how to say no le das no le das importancia a lo que piensa, no sé cómo se dirá.
I think you don't care, maybe.
Uh, I, you don't care about the other person thinking about you.
Okay, guys. I think we have a lot of time left. We can continue with the next ones.
Yes, I agree.
Two left.
Used to fight a lot with her brother or sister. I have a brother, and I used to fight with
Brothers. Or
Over the control.
with the remote. Remote. The TV. Remoto, o sea, el control remoto. Control remote. Teacher, remote is correctly spelled?
Yes, remote with E at the end. Remote control.
Okay.
Control.
Well, control.
It is optional, yes, to the remote or the remote control.
And also for the colors, pencil of yes.
And
Give some 14 people names. Who is?
it's forgetting people names. No, it isn't me. I am like good remember. I am so good remember the names of the people.
Is Santiago.
Why me?
Santiago? No? You are
Or
You
not?
broke
Yes.
her house.
We need to fill
Yes.
this. But for example, in this
We have
case,
to upload the document.
okay.
Each person in this Zoom. The situation tends to be lazy at weekends.
In my case, I can because always I had to wake up early to go to the church. So I haven't the opportunity to be lazy at weekends. In my case, no. On weekend, I usually travel or work.
In my case, neither because I would like to get up in the mornings all day of the week. Other person. Hi, teacher.
Hello. Almost finished?
No, teacher.
Not
Now
yet?
we are
Okay.
discussing about the tier.
Okay.
Oh, teacher.
Tell me.
Teacher, what we must do with the document now that we already finished it?
There is one document per student,
Per
not
student.
per group, okay? So everyone has to have the same answers if you want, and upload, every student uploads the document with their name. I send you the instruction through WhatsApp. It says, when you finish, upload the documents again with your name. For example, Laura Hereda, habits, patterns. Okay, so you put your name into the document's name, and each student has to upload their own document. Okay?
okay, miss.
Thank you.
Teacher,
What group
Yes.
is this?
teacher, could you find Could you see my document in the folder, teacher?
Let me check. Let's see. Yes, Mandy is already uploaded. Thank you. Someone else uploaded. I cannot see.
Guys, anybody else needs the document again? See the document again before I send it? Or it's okay?
Hi, teacher.
Hello, are you finished?
I
Yes,
think yes,
teacher.
teacher.
All right, so you can
Yes.
upload your documents.
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
All right, everyone is back. Please remember to upload the documents with your names on the document's name, okay? So put your name as Mendy, Diego, Karen, Catherine, Santiago. Very good. There's only one more document. I think it's who uploaded this document. I'm not sure. Okay, so put your names on it so I can identify it. I will check it, okay? So everyone must upload it, okay? Okay, guys, great. So we're going to stop with that. You can continue uploading. I think everyone finished. Now we're going to continue with Unit 8. So we will continue working on page 78. In this page, we are going to do a listening exercise. So it's a bit long exercise. So we're going to do it like step by step, okay? So let's start paying attention, page 78. This is about leaving home, okay? So I want to ask you or discuss with you if you have ever been away from your home, your house, from work or traveling. What's the longest time that you have been away from your home? And why? What were the circumstances? And also, how did you feel about this? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Or no, did you have a bad time away from home? So I want you to participate, give me your opinions, your experiences about this, about leaving home. Or what's the longest time that you have been away from home? You can raise your hand. Santiago, thank you.
Well, teacher, the experience that I have was during 2 months out of my home. I did it. I left my home because during that time the pandemic already started. Was in 2020. I lost my job and I had a student credit for being paid. So I
Student
had
loan?
a student loan, yeah. So I get a job in a farm. So I go to work in the farm during the 2 months, June and July of my vacations in the university, and I get enough money to pay my due in the bank. I fortunately did it, and after that, well, I go back to home again. And honestly, the work wasn't hard. The hardest part was the shared space with people who were very rude and not so friendly.
Okay, I see.
It was very competitive environment in that farm. So that was the difficult part.
Okay, I understand. So not a very good experience overall. Not
Not
very good.
exactly. Had a good parts because I feel that I get many experience and I grow up mentally and psychology and and I get very knowledge for my life about the independence. But
Okay,
it was
yes.
harder for the competitive way.
Yes, it was difficult. All right. Thank you, Santiago. Thank you for sharing your story. Very interesting. Anyone else that would like to share their experience being away from home?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, Catherine, go ahead.
Mm, I have been away from my family, from my family home for about 3 years because I have to study and also work. So I didn't have a lot of time or much to go to visit my mom, my brother, my sister, and my nephew. Also because they live far, 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 far away from here.
Where is this? Where do they live?
They live in Arauca.
Yes, you're very far.
Yes,
Very far from home.
around 12 hours by bus, but a flight take 30 minutes maybe.
Yes, so by bus it's very, very far.
Yes.
So how did you feel about this? Now you feel comfortable living alone on your own, or would you like to be close to your family
Oh
right
no,
now?
no, miss. I really love my mental health in this moment. I really because I used to fight with my brothers when I was a little child. But now I have a really good relationship, actually.
All right.
No, my siblings, no, only my
Only
brother.
brothers? Oh, I
Yes.
understand you have brothers and sisters.
A sister. But with my sister we are
close friends. Yes.
Yes, like best friends.
Okay.
Them, but yes.
All right. So you were fighting with your brothers. I understand. Okay. Thank you, Catherine, for sharing. Okay, guys. So you can see there are many reasons why people leave their homes. We already have two reasons that Santiago and Catherine mentioned. Santiago was for work and Catherine is for studies, okay? Can you think about other situations or reasons why people leave their homes? You can write on the chat and we will compare, okay? Write at least one. It says 6, no, 1 per each student, different from work or studies. Reasons why people leave their homes. Okay, Kiara says illness or sickness. Sickness, okay. Go abroad to build, okay. Go abroad for work or studies. Yeah, move to another country, but we're not talking about the place. We're thinking about reason. Why? Why do they go? Okay, to have experiences, an adventure, on vacation, to start a family. Good, Vanessa. To search their purpose there in life, to emigrate. Okay. Maybe because of war, no? Like in Spanish we say desplazamiento forzoso, yes. War can be a reason. Problems with the parents, yes, with your family. Bad relationships, to start a new relationship. Very good. Yes, so we have many reasons why people leave their homes, okay? So that's what we're going to listen today. We're going to listen to some reasons why people left their home, okay? So we're going to start reading here and answer the question. Why did each person leave their home, okay? Let's read the first person is Peter. So Jorge, can you read the definition or the description for Peter in this case?
Yes, teacher. At the age of 15, Peter left home for the first time to do military or national service.
So he left for military service, okay? The second person is Liz. Maria Alejandra, please read Liz.
At the age of 11, Liz was sent to a boarding school where she lived during the term, only going home in the holidays.
So remember boarding school. How can we say this in Spanish? Boarding school.
Internado.
Internado. Yes. She went to a boarding school for the semester, for the term, and only came home for the holidays. Okay, for her vacation. Right. And the last one is for Natalia, is Catherine.
After studying French at school until the age of 18, Catherine...
Sorry, it was Natalia. Sorry,
I was confused.
Natalia had to read about Catherine.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
After studying French at school until the age of 18, Catherine went to be an au pair in Brittany, northern France, where she stayed with family and looked after their two young children.
Their 2 young children. So why did Catherine leave her home? What is the reason here?
She went to work as an au pair.
She went to work as an au pair in France. She stayed with the family and looked after the 2 young children. Okay, so the reasons, we already have them. First, for military service. The second is for what? School. Boarding school. And the third is for work, so to be an au pair in France. All right, so these are the people that we're going to listen, discussing their experiences leaving home, okay? We're going to see a list of topics here, and then we're going to complete these columns. Who mentioned it? And the third is, what did they say? So we are going to listen. Is a long audio. You have to take notes. Be very attentive. I will put the script as well so you can follow it and write your answers, okay? So let's read the situations first. The first one, let's start. Diego, the first. What
Shooting
is
a
the thing?
rifle.
Shooting a rifle. Who do you
Rifle.
think mentioned it? Peter, Liz, or Catherine?
Peter.
Yes, most probably it was Peter. So we can start completing here. I will put letter P for Peter, okay? Here, we only put the names. The second one, Jorge, please read the second situation.
Okay, teacher. Ironing and sewing.
Ironing and sewing. Do you know what is this? Iron or to sew?
Yes.
Ironing is planchar.
Planchar and sewing. No?
No.
No, teacher.
When you have a button from your shirt that is loose, you lose a button, you sew it again to the shirt.
Coser?
Yes. This is sewing. So who do you think mentioned this, ironing and sewing?
Maybe
Liz.
Catherine.
Maybe Liz or Catherine? Which one?
I
Could
think
be both.
Catherine.
Okay. So here we are only guessing, right? So after we listen, we will check if we have the correct answers or not, okay? So let's put C and then we can correct for Catherine. Next one is Karen. Please read the next situation. 3.
Growing up in the country.
Growing up in the country. Who do you think said this? Peter en el campo. Peter, Liz, or Catherine?
Catherine.
Maybe Catherine? We are not sure, but let's say Catherine. You will correct it when you listen, okay? Continue reading Catherine, number 4.
Going to the beach, maybe
Going
Catherine?
to the beach. Also Catherine, okay? Put letter C here. Kiara, read situation number 5.
Teaching English.
Teaching English. Who mentions this, maybe?
I think Catherine.
Also maybe Catherine?
Yes.
Yes.
Or,
or maybe Liz?
Liz.
All right. Let's say Catherine. We will correct later, okay? So we have a lot for Catherine. Let's see the others. Manuel, being told what to do. So receiving orders, being told what to do.
I think Peter, teacher.
Peter?
Yes.
I also think Liz, no? She was
I
in
think
boarding school.
everyone is.
Everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Let's put Liz, maybe. We will correct later. So it's not if they apply, but we're going to pay attention of who talks about these situations, okay? Who talks about them? Maria Alejandra, for next, number 7.
Haircuts.
Haircuts. Who do you think mentioned haircuts? Catherine, Liz, or Peter? Haircuts.
Catherine.
You think Catherine? Maybe not Peter for the army, the military service. Haircuts, to get your hair cut. No? What do you guys think? Maybe Peter. Maybe it's Peter who talks about haircuts. Marlon, number 8.
Losing your individuality.
Okay, losing your individuality. Who do you think mentioned this? the military, the boarding school, or au pair?
Maybe Catherine?
Maybe Catherine, being an au pair. I don't agree. Maybe you lose your individuality
I don't.
on the army or at school. Yes, it can be, I would say, maybe Peter or Liz. Which
Liz.
one do you think it's more likely? Liz or Peter?
Liz. For me, Liz.
Liz? Okay.
Me, Peter, teacher.
For you, Peter? Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's put the P and then we will check. And the last one, Vanessa, can you read the...
Becoming more independent, I think Liz.
This is also for Liz. It can be also for Catherine. For all of them, really. So let's say Liz. Let's put it. And now we are going to listen and check this. But also, guys, start writing, taking notes about what they say for each thing, okay? So we can complete the second column as well. So check who said it and also start taking notes so we can complete the chart, okay? We're going to start listening.
Unit 8, Recording 2.
Can you listen to the recording well? Clearly?
Yes.
Okay, so I will play the script as well with the script so you can follow it because there is 6 minutes. So we're going to listen only once, okay? Only one time, and then we are going to correct.
Peter, did you used to be in the army?
Yes, in my time you had to do national service when you were 18 years and it was compulsory, so you had no choice.
So how did you find it?
Well, I remember at the time I was really looking forward to it. It was an opportunity to go abroad and live in other countries, and it was quite a shock when I got in.
What were you looking forward to? I can't imagine anything worse than being in the army.
Well, it was, I don't know, it was exciting. It was that boy thing and shooting a rifle and going abroad. Yes, I remember I was really looking forward to it. The first thing they put in my hand was an iron, and they showed us how to iron a shirt, which wasn't what I wanted to join the army for because I'd never ironed a shirt in my life. And then the next thing they did was they showed us how to sew a button on a shirt and how to darn a hole in a sock. I think it was about 6 weeks before I was even allowed to get my hands on a rifle at all.
Yeah. What about you, Liz? When did you leave home?
I went to boarding school when I was 11.
Oh.
I'd had a wonderfully free life growing up in the country in Australia. And suddenly at the age of 11, my parents decided that they wanted me to go to a school in the city. What about you?
Well, I started doing some au pairing when I was 18. I'd done French A-level, so my French was relatively good, but still, speaking in conversation and living in the French language for a month was very daunting.
Was it different to how you imagined it was going to be?
I can't remember now what I imagined, but I mean, we had some fantastic times. The weather was gorgeous every single day, and we'd go down to the beach every day. The kids were a good age, so they could go off and play. But it wasn't all kind of playing on the beach.
Sailing.
Yeah, the parents really wanted them to learn English whilst I was there, so one of my roles was to teach them English, which for an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old in their summer holiday was not what they wanted to do at all. So we had quite a lot of battles trying to get them to sit down at that dining room table and do their work.
But what was it like? What was it like actually just living in a place that you hadn't been to before, with a family that you didn't know, and living under somebody else's rules?
Difficult. Being an au pair, you're told what to do. You're there. You're getting paid. You're living in their house, and you have to abide by their rules. I don't like being told what to do, and to be told to go and put on the milk, to sweep the floor, to put the washing out, I find quite hard work. But after a couple of weeks, you get to know the routine, so you start doing those kind of things yourself without having to be told. But I just have moments when I just kind of storm up to my room and shut the door, because at 18 I was still quite young, I was still quite inexperienced, and I found it quite difficult to deal with that.
Well, I suppose that's something that you had to do as well, didn't you? Live under the rules of the army at 18. That must have been...
Yes, that's right. Yes, the discipline was very, very hard. But there's another story that I remember about being in the army, because suddenly we found ourselves in a long hut with about 30 beds, with a short space between each bed. And from all walks of life, we came from everywhere, and the man opposite me, he was a huge man, and he was one of these people that you avoided eye contact with, because if you so much as glanced at him, he looked as if he was ready to attack you. And he had this thick Elvis Presley style hairstyle. And on the second day, we were marched to the barber shop to have a haircut, and they just cut the whole lot off. And I remember him standing outside afterwards, and he looked like an overgrown schoolboy, and he was crying. There was tears were running down his cheek, and he was quiet for about 2 days, and then after that you couldn't have met a nicer person. He did everything, he joined in everything, and he was really completely different.
So it's just his hair gave him an ego.
Perhaps that was his way of coping in an alien environment.
Could be,
well.
Yeah.
How do you feel about having your head shaved then? I mean, did you...
Well, they didn't actually shave it, they gave us what was known in those days as a short back and sides.
But did you feel like you lost your individuality?
Yeah, because that was the whole idea, to make you work as one unit, so that if they shouted jump, then 30 men jumped at the same time, because that was the whole objective, to discipline people and to make you an effective force.
How did that affect you? How do you feel about it now, looking back?
Well, at the time it was a bit scary, but looking back now, I think it was a good time.
How boarding school affected me? Well, I said earlier it made me a really independent person.
Yeah.
And at the time, I hated it. I hated the rules, I hated the regulations, but it did, as I said, give me independence. But it also made me quite a conscientious person, because I got used to studying. And I think as a result of that, I developed into a very different person at the end of the day than I would have done had I stayed in Australia and living my free life in the countryside. So I suppose looking back, I'm very grateful that my parents made that decision to send me away, but certainly I didn't feel that when I was 11.
All right, guys, did you get your notes? Do you need to listen again? What do you think? Do you need to listen again one more time? All right, we're going to play it. We have a bit of time, so let's play it one more time, and then we correct to finish today, okay? So let's pay attention to the audio one more time.
Unit 8, Recording 2.
Peter, did you used to be in the army?
Yes, in my time, you had to do national service when you were 18 years, and it was compulsory, so you had no choice.
So how did you find it?
Well, I remember at the time I was really looking forward to it. It was an opportunity to go abroad and live in other countries, and it was quite a shock when I got in.
What were you looking forward to? I can't imagine anything worse than being in the army.
Well, it was, I don't know, it was exciting. It was that boy thing and shooting a rifle and going abroad. Yes, I remember I was really looking forward to it. The first thing they put in my hand was an iron, and they showed us how to iron a shirt, which wasn't what I wanted to join the army for, because I'd never ironed a shirt in my life. And then the next thing they did was they showed us how to sew a button on a shirt and how to darn a hole in a sock. I think it was about 6 weeks before I was even allowed to get my hands on a rifle at all.
Yeah. What about you, Liz? When did you leave home?
I went to boarding school when I was 11. I'd had a wonderfully free life growing up in the country in Australia. And suddenly at the age of 11, my parents decided that they wanted me to go to a school in the city. What about you?
Well, I started doing some au pairing when I was 18. I'd done French A-level, so my French was relatively good, but still, speaking in conversation and living in the French language for a month was very daunting.
Was it different to how you imagined it was going to be?
I can't remember now what I imagined, but I mean, we had some fantastic times. The weather was gorgeous every single day, and we'd go down to the beach every day. The kids were a good age, so they could go off and play. But it wasn't all kind of playing on the beach.
Sailing.
Yeah, the parents really wanted them to learn English whilst I was there, so one of my roles was to teach them English, which for an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old in their summer holiday was not what they wanted to do at all. So we had quite a lot of battles trying to get them to sit down at that dining room table and do their work.
But what was it like? What was it like actually just living in a place that you hadn't been to before, with a family that you didn't know, and living under somebody else's rules?
Difficult. Being an au pair, you're told what to do. You're there. You're getting paid. You're living in their house, and you have to abide by their rules. I don't like being told what to do, and to be told to go and put on the milk, to sweep the floor, to put the washing out, I find quite hard work. But after a couple of weeks, you get to know the routine, so you start doing those kind of things yourself without having to be told. But I did have moments when I just kind of storm up to my room and shut the door, because at 18 I was still quite young, I was still quite inexperienced, and I found it quite difficult to deal with that.
Well, I suppose that's something that you had to do as well, didn't you? Live under the rules of the army at 18. That must have been...
Yes, that's right. Yes, the discipline was very, very hard. But there's another story that I remember about being in the army, because suddenly we found ourselves in a long hut with about 30 beds, with a short space between each bed. And from all walks of life, we came from everywhere. And the man opposite me, he was a huge man, and he was one of these people that you avoided eye contact with, because if you so much as glanced at him, he looked as if he was ready to attack you. And he had this thick Elvis Presley style hairstyle. And on the second day, we were marched to the barber shop to have a haircut, and they just cut the whole lot off. And I remember him standing outside afterwards, and he looked like an overgrown schoolboy, and he was crying. There was tears were running down his cheek, and he was quiet for about 2 days, and then after that you couldn't have met a nicer person. He did everything, he joined in everything, and he was really completely different.
So it's just his hair gave him an ego.
Perhaps that was his way of coping in an alien environment.
Could be.
As well.
Yeah.
How do you feel about having your head shaved then? I mean, did you...
Well, they didn't actually shave it. They gave us what was known in those days as a short back and sides.
But did you feel like you lost your individuality?
Yeah, because that was the whole idea, to make you work as one unit, so that if they shouted jump, then 30 men jumped at the same time, because that was the whole objective, to discipline people and to make you an effective force.
How did that affect you? How do you feel about it now, looking back?
Well, at the time it was a bit scary. But looking back now, I think it was a good time.
How boarding school affected me? Well, I said earlier it made me a really independent person.
Yeah.
And at the time, I hated it. I hated the rules, I hated the regulations, but it did, as I said, give me independence. But it also made me quite a conscientious person, because I got used to studying. And I think as a result of that, I developed into a very different person at the end of the day than I would have done had I stayed in Australia and living my free life in the countryside. So I suppose looking back, I'm very grateful that my parents made that decision to send me away, but certainly I didn't feel that when I was 11.
All right, now that we have listened to the information, to all the stories, Let's see if we got the correct answer, and then I will ask you to complement the information. What did you get from the audio, okay? So let's continue with Vanessa for the first one, shooting a rifle. The answer was Peter, it's correct?
Teacher, yes, is correct.
Yes. And what else did you listen from Peter about shooting a rifle?
He never
He
showed after.
Okay, sorry, Diego. Let's listen to Vanessa.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Really looking forward to it.
He was really looking forward
Looking
forward to it. So he was excited about shooting a rifle. He was looking forward to it. Yes, thank you. Anything else, other students, for shooting a rifle?
He
Manuel?
never shoot after.
Okay, he never shot. You mean after or before?
Before, sorry.
Okay. Shot a rifle before. Yes, Manuel?
It was 6 months after he was allowed to shoot a rifle.
After joining that he shot a rifle. So it was not at the beginning. It was after 6 months that he got a rifle to shoot it. Okay, so Manuela, about ironing and sewing. It was Catherine, or who was it?
The teacher, it was for Peter.
It was Peter. Okay, and what did he say?
That he have never iron or sewing in her life.
Yes, this was a new experience for him. He had never ironed or sew anything before this time in this experience. Okay. All right. Continue with Mandy for number 3. Growing up in the country. Who said this? Who mentioned this? Mandy? Mandy is not here. Okay.
Yes, teacher, I'm
Yes?
here. But
Okay.
teacher, I am working to my home.
Okay, I see. All right. So let's see, for example, Manuel. Growing up in the country, who was it?
Growing up in the country was Liz.
And what did she say about this?
That she was in boarding school in Australia.
She went to boarding school in Australia. How was her life in the countryside? Did you hear about this?
I think she said something about she felt like free there.
Yes, she was free. Her life was free in the countryside in Australia. All right, good. Thank you. What about Kiara for next, going to the beach? It was Catherine who mentioned this, Kiara.
Going to the beach. I don't remember, but I think that Catherine was.
Yes, this was correct, Catherine. And what else did she say about the beach? No? Nothing else? Okay,
Yes,
Diego. Okay, sorry, Diego.
She went to the beach every single day.
Mm-hmm. Every day. The weather was nice, she said. The weather was nice. So she went to the beach every day. Mm-hmm. All right, thank you, very good. Okay, continue with Karen. Teaching English. It was Catherine?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. What extra information did you get for teaching English?
The parents wanted they wanted that the kids learn English.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so the parents wanted the kids to learn English. And was this easy or difficult for her?
Difficult because it was summer and they didn't want this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the kids didn't want to study, so it was difficult for her to teach them. They were in holidays, they didn't want to study. All right, continuing with Jessica. Being told what to do. Who said that? Is Liz?
Yes.
No, it was Catherine. She
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about the
He was au pair.
the au pair. What did you get here from this part?
When she was living in their house, and she has to abide by the rules.
Yes, she had to abide by the rules, so she had to follow their rules, okay? And they told her to do the housework, to clean the floor, to do the laundry, all of this. And she didn't like it, okay? She didn't like this. All right, we're almost finished, guys. So let's check Maria Alejandra for haircuts. It was Peter?
Yes.
Okay, and what else did you hear from haircuts?
He don't have choice.
Yeah, he didn't have a choice for the haircut. Everyone had the same haircut. Yes, all the other men had the same haircut as well. All right. Jorge, for number 8, losing your individuality.
Peter, teacher.
It was Peter. And what did you get from extra information here?
He found himself in a space with 30 beds, and he said that he lost his individuality because they had to do as an unit.
Other bands, they had to act as a unit. Yes, all these military men had to act as a unit. That's why they lose their individuality. Okay, in these cases, they have to be a unit. Okay, and Catherine, the last one, to become more independent.
Was Liz, Miss?
It was Liz. And what extra information did you get?
And she said that she has a routine. And hard work.
More discipline. She has a routine. Hard work. Yes. Oh, I wrote hard work. Okay. Hard working. Very good. All right, guys. So we finished with our listening exercise. Very good. So we need to continue practicing listening to get like key information to interpret it, So this is good practice for that. Right, guys, that is all for today. So I will see you again tomorrow. Have a nice rest of your night. Good night, and see you tomorrow. Okay?
Bye,
Bye-bye,
teacher.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Teacher. Thank
Teacher,
you.
good night.
Bye bye.